Well, good afternoon, everyone. I'm Lori Mattson. I'm President and CEO of the Tri-City Regional Chamber. It's my pleasure to welcome you to our State of the Ports Luncheon, sponsored by LS Networks. Our region's 3 port districts, the Port of Benton, Port of Kennewick, and Port of Pasco, all play a key role in the economic vitality of the Tri-Cities by creating jobs, providing investment opportunities, and improving the quality of life. Collectively, they are important catalysts for growth, and each district's work will impact the region for decades to come. So we want to know how much you know about our ports. We want to gauge the knowledge in the room with a fun quiz. So please get out your smartphone and go to slido.com, and there you can enter the code TCRCC, and you'll see the first question. The first question is, the Port of Kennewick's Vista Field project is a massive undertaking. How large is the Vista Field site? I think we have 85 acres, 103, 117, and 142. Give you a few minutes to see here. I think the Port of Kennewick people just logged on because now so the answer is 103 acres. All right, next question. The Pasco Airport was once a World War II U.S. Navy facility. What year did the Port of Pasco take ownership and rename it the Tri-Cities Airport? 1955, 1959, 1963, 1969. Buck Taft, I don't see you putting your answer in here. So you know the answer though, so you can't play, right? All right. The right answer is 1963, so nice job. All right, last question has to do with the Port of Benton. In early 1960, the USS Triton became the first vessel to execute a submerged circumnavigation of the world in Operation Sandblast. What year was the Triton sail set up at the Port of Benton? I'm looking for their tables to see if they're all helping you, right? All right. The right answer is 2011. So, all right. Well, thanks everyone for playing along, and thanks to Cascade Natural Gas for sponsoring our live polling platform. So at this time, I'd like to recognize all the elected officials who have joined us for today's program, and I'd like to ask you to please stand as I introduce you, and then stay standing till everyone's been introduced. From Franklin County, I believe we have all 3 commissioners here, Brad Peck, Clint Didier, and Bob Cook. If you would please stand and stay standing. Franklin County Prosecuting Attorney Sean Sant. From the City of Kennewick, we have Mayor Don Britton and Councilmember Chuck Torelli. From the City of Richland, Councilmember Terry Christensen. From the City of West Richland, Councilmember David Fetto. From the Port of Benton, Commissioner Roy Keck and Commissioner Bob Larson. From the Port of Kennewick, Commissioners Tom Moak, Don Barnes, and Skip Novakovich. From the Port of Pasco, we have Commissioners Vicki Gordon, Jim Klindworth, and Jean Reichman. And from Benton PUD, we have Commissioner Lori Sanders. And from Senator Patty Murray's office, we have Raquel Farrell Crowley. So if I've missed anyone, we certainly didn't intend to, but please stand up so we can recognize you as well. And then please help join me in a round of applause, thanking all of our elected officials. Appreciate everything you do for our region. So in addition to all the elected officials, we have 51 people here representing our port districts. So maybe we'll ask all of those people to stand as well. Staff from the port districts, if you'd stand, we can recognize you and see who all these people are that work at our ports. We're going to hear a lot about the great work you do. Thank you very much. All right, we're getting our exercise. So now if everybody could please stand and join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, no more standing except for the people that are going to speak. All right, so our luncheon today is sponsored by LS Networks, and joining us to say a few words is Josh DeLuna, Sales Manager at LS Networks. Please help me welcome Josh.
Thank you. I just have about 90 minutes and a PowerPoint to go over. No, not really. I just want to say hello. Thank you for this opportunity. Thank you to Elizabeth, Lori, the Chamber, for bringing this to our attention and letting us be a part of this. Thanks our CEO, Byron, actually made the trip over from Portland. Thank you for that. It's a big thing for us here. Really, I only have 3 minutes, and there's cake on the table, so we're just going to go do this real quick. I'm very honored and excited to be able to speak to you today about LS Networks and the work we've been doing here in this area, really for the past 15 years. Some might not have known that. We built out a very robust, cutting-edge fiber network, and now we're taking that fiber network to our local commercial businesses in the area. Owning and operating this type of network allows us to deliver a great voice and data experience to our local businesses. We have our local account managers here. We have engineers here locally. We have our technicians here locally. And they're here to answer questions and talk to you about LS and where we came from, where we're going. I invite you to drop your cards. We do have some giveaways today. The giveaways are just a little gift, a little token from us, and we're actually going to be hand delivering those to your businesses once we determine who the winners were. And I'll just leave you with another thank you. And let you know that we are here, we are local, we want to serve. Just let us know how we can help. Thank you.
Thank you, Josh, and again, thanks to everyone at LS Networks for your sponsorship. We appreciate your support of the Chamber. Now I'd like to invite Elizabeth Holt, our Vice President, here to announce our Member of the Month, as well as to present plaques to our newest members. Please help me welcome Elizabeth.
Thank you, Lori, and like she mentioned, as usual, I'm excited to announce all of the newest members who are able to join us at the luncheon today. So if I announce your name, please join Lori up here at the front, accept your membership plaque, and then we can pose for a group photo. First, we have Kevin Tapani from Tapani Inc. Sure, yeah. Mike Paoli with Tri-Cities Public Relations. Shiloh Gallagher with I Do and Fido2. Cheryl Hepner with Tri-State Insurance and Benefits Specialist. Kari England with Terra Blanca Winery and Estate Vineyard. Tommy Hepler and Martine Valadez with Communities and Schools. John Roach with Whole Story. And last but not least, we have Arthur Baranovsky with AYB Drafting. All right, perfect. Thank you all for joining and welcome to the Regional Chamber. Let's give them all a round of applause. Next, we'd like to recognize some of the Chamber's longstanding members. The members pictured here on the screen have been involved with the Regional Chamber for 20 years or more. Let's recognize these members with a round of applause as well. Now I'd like to turn the presentation over momentarily to someone you all recognize, our past board chair, Derek Stricker. Because of his special connection with the Member of the Month this month, he's going to make that presentation. Here's Derek.
It's been a couple months. I'm already getting rusty at this. Okay. Hey, welcome everyone to be here. Thank you for your time. I'm very honored today to announce that the Awards and Recognition Committee has chosen Roasters Coffee as a February Member of the Month this month. Roasters was born and bred here, right here in Tri-City. Seth, bring it in. I'll talk over you. I got a microphone and a loud voice, and they're loud and proud too. Roasters was born and bred right here in Tri-Cities. We've seen rapid growth over the last decade of this coffee shop turned to coffee business, and had pleasure of helping them open the recent 13th location on the 27th Avenue in Kennewick. And most recently, they opened up their Steptoe location. I believe they have some other operational stuff to announce in the future they got going on, and lots of big stuff, and it's all happening right here in Tri-Cities. And it's something that's organically grown right here over the last decade. So they also have a large history of giving back to our community through many different organizations and community give back days that add up to thousands of dollars annually. So we appreciate that part of it. So everyone here, please help me in welcoming Jarek, Drew, and Steven to the stage and celebrate the team at Roasters Coffee as a February Member of the Month. Come on up here. Say something cool, dude.
You know, on behalf of Roasters Coffee, I'd like to thank the community first and foremost. Because of the community, Roasters has been able to take over $3.5 million annually and create new jobs in the Tri-Cities. You know, and it's all thanks to the community. So thank you so much. This is an absolute honor. Thank you.
Thanks so much. Thanks, Elizabeth. Welcome to all of our new members. Congratulations, Roasters. And Derek, it's always great to have you up here. So now it's my pleasure to turn the program over to Chris Rivard, who is our current board chair. Please help me welcome Chris.
Thanks, Lori. I'd like to also extend a welcome to our partners, the ports, who are joining us here today. The ports are a critical component to our success as a region. They are responsible for many of the things that, in my opinion, make the Tri-Cities the great place that it is, not only now, but going into the future. So welcome to them. The Port of Benton, the Port of Kennewick, and the Port of Pasco have teamed up today with PS Media to put together some videos that you're going to be seeing. And the first of those is answering one of the great mysteries of our time, and that is, what is a port exactly?
What is a port? Why do we have them? Why 3 port districts? Port districts were authorized by the state in 1911 to encourage waterfront commerce. Since then, their economic development roles have expanded beyond the waterfront to building and operating airports, marinas, marine terminals, railroads, and industrial parks, to acting as a catalyst for community revitalization, business development, and tourism. In our state, port districts are established by citizen vote. There are 75 port districts in Washington state, from massive districts like the Port of Seattle to very small districts like the Port of Colotus, yet they all share the same mission: economic development. Port of Kennewick was formed in 1915 and is the oldest port in eastern Washington. Port of Kennewick covers most of East Benton County, including Kennewick, Richland, West Richland, and a portion of Benton City. Port of Pasco was formed in 1940 and celebrates their 80th anniversary this May. Port of Pasco covers a swath of Franklin County from Pasco to Connell. Port of Benton was formed in 1958. The Port of Benton covers most of West Benton County, including Richland, Benton City, and Prosser. Each port uniquely evolved since being established, and they continue to engage in those activities which best address the changing needs of their districts.
All right, outstanding. Question answered. Now we know what a port is. Today you're going to hear directly from representatives of each of the three ports. So let's start with another video.
Good morning. I'm Bob Larson, one of the three commissioners for the Port of Benton. Today I will be your guide, and we'll be showing you some of the great catches the port have landed this past year. This morning we're in North Richland, near the Port of Benton, and next to the USS Triton Sail Park. And I want you to know the story of the USS Triton Sail Park. Every year in the fall, the Navy brings a barge with the decommissioned reactor compartments up the Columbia River to the Port of Benton dock. The reactor compartment is taken off the barge and loaded by a Lamson crane and put into a large trailer, then driven to the Hanford site and put into an open pit for storage. The Triton Sail Park is also part of the Hanford Project National Historical Park Tours, which highlights the Cold War and atomic history. Okay, let's see what is biting this morning for the Port of Benton. It's a long way, isn't it?
The Port of Benton recently sold two 40,000 square foot commercial buildings to Croskrey Brothers, LLC. The buildings were built by Westinghouse Hanford and purchased 2 years ago by the Port of Benton. The redevelopment of the two buildings is the first phase of a 5-year plan to improve the existing property and bring new development to the area. The plan for the two buildings is to give the exterior a facelift, including new landscaping and resurfacing of the parking areas, as well as redesigning the interiors of the buildings to meet the new tenants' needs. ISO Pacific has moved into the South Building along with Excelsior Design Company. At our TEC building, the Dive Restaurant, which moved into the west end of the building, was renovated for open seating in the summer and is located at 2000 Logston Boulevard in Richland. Let's make some waves in Benton City. Subway is now open at our Port of Benton Development Building on 9th Street in Benton City, thanks to local entrepreneurs Jeremy and Caitlin Schultz. The modern restaurant offers breakfast, sandwiches, wraps, and salads using fresh vegetables and healthy choices for customers, and is open 7 days a week. Honeybee Quilting is a full-service quilt shop in Benton City, stocked with 100% cotton fabric for quilting and related supplies, and also offers machine quilting as a service. It has a huge selection of fabric and a large variety of prints. The port also continues its support of the Benton City Days Parade and Car Show every year. Let's drop in on Prosser. The Port of Benton's new Vintners Village building is located in Prosser, Washington. The building consists of 3 separate spaces. Our newest tenant, Watoma Springs Winery, is home to Jessica Munnell, Tom Merkel, and Rachel Mercer, who have ramped up production and is taking the boutique winery to the next level. Rachel Mercer is bringing her culinary skills and wine knowledge to manage the new Watoma Springs Tasting Room and Tapas Bar at Vintners Village in Prosser. Rachel will feature Watoma Springs wines, Spanish-style tapas, and offer beer by the bottle. The minimalist tasting room will feature a 27-foot grapevine from Tom's Vineyard. Now let's drop our line at Crow Butte Island. The Port of Benton's Crow Butte Park is located along the Columbia River, 14 miles from Patterson on Highway SR 14. The park is managed by the Port of Benton and is not a state park, so it doesn't require a Discover Pass. This year, the park is undergoing a refresher and is primarily a water sports park with 3 boat launches and a sheltered bay for temporary moorage. Campsites have full hookups to water, sewer, and power up to 50 amps. The park opens early spring and closes in the fall.
Wow, look how big it is. We got one. It's going to be a big one. Well, I hope you got a kick out of this show. Thanks for inviting us to the State of the Ports this year, and see you next year.
Great job on the videos. I feel like you already know Bob since he introduced himself in there, but I'll give him a formal introduction. Bob was elected to serve on the Port of Benton Commission in 1994. His previous experience includes over 30 years of procurement with the United States Atomic Energy Commission and the Department of Energy. Commissioner Larson is a retired colonel in the Army Reserves, a previous commander of the USAR School in Spokane, Washington, and a liaison officer to the United States Military Academy at West Point for recruitment of cadets for the southeast portion of the state of Washington. Please help me welcome Port of Benton Commissioner Bob Larson.
Well, they told me there wouldn't be any questions, so I said, oh, I love this. Okay. It's a pleasure to introduce the new Executive Director, Diahann Howard. I believe many people know her here and might even have worked with her. I just want to mention 5 things that Diahann's career highlights were, and you might not know these things, but that's why we're telling them you now. It's just 5 of them know. First, she was selected to be on the United States Department of Energy Environmental Advisor Board at Washington, D.C. That's a big one. The next one is she obtained over $18 million in federal and state grants. That's the best one. And the next one is she was president of Richland Rotary Club in 2018. And the fourth one, she helped obtain a federal land transfer of 1,641 acres of industrial property to the Port of Benton and the city of Richland and Energy Northwest for manufacturing. And the last one, the American Association of Port Authorities issued Diahann Howard a professional port management certification in October 2019. And she's one of 4 within the state of Washington. Okay, so now you know about her. And I want you to know that the Port of Benton is very glad to have an excellent executive director as good as Diahann Howard. And I just want you to know as I leave that on the way back, the picture of the fish you saw was the one I caught.
Thank you, Commissioner. And thank you to all of you. I'm very grateful for the opportunity to be here today. But first, I would like to again recognize our team who stepped up in so many ways over this last year for your service and dedication to the port community. If all of you would join me in giving a hand to Port of Benton staff team. So at the Port of Benton, customer service is our #1 job. We do this by creating experiences and environments where you can feel confident about your investment, starting a new idea, or growing your company. Our ongoing efforts to create a solid small business startup environment will continue with events such as the Entrepreneurial Awards that we coordinate with the Chamber of Commerce, Tridec, Fuse, Richland Rotary, and the Research District.
Launch Weekend and Fuse Fund, which is led by our partner Marty Conger, who's here today, is great partner to the Port of Benton, and we look forward to our continued work with them, as well as with the Tri-Cities Tech Summit, which is like a TED Talks for small business startups that we again participate in strongly. So now to 2020 and our focus on some key capital projects and initiatives. Number one being the Richland Airport is one of our two general aviation airports that's over 584 acres with over 70 based aircraft and live flight operations. Currently, we have a master plan underway, and we're asking, what is needed to expand our runway? How can we provide more aviation and business opportunities? Speaking of aviation, we are on a quest, and we would like for you to join us in support of Representative Binke's endeavors at a state level to be the location of choice to train the newly established U.S. Space Force that was created by the National Defense Authorization Act of 2020. There are no set plans for the location of the academy, and we believe that our community has resources such as Hammer, PNNL, WSU Tri-Cities, and CBC that can be leveraged. Chancellor Haynes actually helped MSU in Denver as part of her work there in creating the Department of Aviation and Aerospace Science programs. Again, we believe that we're in a good position to make a strong request. So we're asking, why not us? Representative Binke had two bills. His first bill passed this last week, as you read in the Herald, 93-5 in support of a study of our state's policies to foster innovation in the space sector. In order to advance this initiative, the Port is offering a land site north of WSU Tri-Cities, and we're asking you to all think boldly and join us by providing your support when we're at the point of putting together a community proposal. Rail investments of $1.6 million, thanks to a grant and loan from the state of Washington, will be used to increase the safety and reliability of the two bridges along the port's 16 miles of rail line that's served by both our short line operator as well as both Class 1 railroads, Union Pacific and Burlington Northern Santa Fe. This ties into our overall planning and marketing efforts that we've been coordinating with the City of Richland since 2009, and has resulted in over $494 million in private sector investments and over 600 jobs in North Richland. Building on these efforts, we're updating our website and our marketing materials so that we can actively start recruiting advanced manufacturing and energy-related research companies. We will be active across our 12 sites, our 12 development sites, as well as we're making about $1.1 million in investments to our roads and existing infrastructure. The Port would also like to share more about the history and expand the USS Triton experience to visitors. We have many other components of the sale and storage, and we're working on ways to identify the space needs in coordination with the Hanford History Project, which is also a tenant of the Port of Benton and tight on space. So we're looking to see how we can create and leverage a place that unites these efforts close to the existing park facilities, and we are keeping the reach at the table. Let me just repeat that again. We are keeping the reach at the table, and I would like to thank Rosanna Sharp for her leadership in order to ensure that we do not have any duplication of efforts or areas of focus. We believe that this is an important step to support Visit Tri-Cities' overall efforts to create an area for STEM tourism. Now going to Benton City, we have our development buildings that are filled, with one building that's actually needing some improvements before we can fully market it. In Prosser, we filled our new development building, as you saw in the video. It also includes Domenico Cellars, as well as Wautoma, Sister to Sister, and Prosser Economic Development Association has their offices located there. We will be evaluating additional buildings in this area and have land ready to sell to continue to support agribusiness and tourism. And we are also going to be starting a similar marketing effort around agribusiness and wine within Prosser with our partners. We are excited about this new decade for the Port. Creating an environment for workforce and business to grow is our future. Doing it in a way that keeps us efficient and effective with the resources entrusted to us is a responsibility that we take seriously. That's why 2020 is dedicated to strategic planning efforts to listen and coordinate with our economic development partners, the cities of Richland, Prosser, Benton City, Benton County, Visit Tri-Cities, TriDec, the Research District, Prosser Economic Development Association, and of course, our local chambers of commerce. We are better and more successful when we are together. Thank you very much.
Thank you to Bob and Diahann for presenting, and thanks to the entire Port of Benton staff for all of your work. You've obviously landed some very big fish, and it sounds like you're going after a whale, which I think is incredible, so good luck and kudos to you. Next up, we have Port of Kennewick, so if you could, please draw your attention to the screen.
Economic development is the Port of Kennewick's mission. We work to foster jobs, build infrastructure, and enhance the quality of life within our district. We've transformed Clover Island into a family-friendly waterfront destination with a lighthouse, riverwalk, artwork, and public amenities. Now we are working with the Army Corps of Engineers, Benton County, City of Kennewick, and Washington State to restore Clover Island's northern shoreline to make the island even better for fish and for people. We've received $1.5 million in state and local grants for this project, and the Corps of Engineers is investing $3.5 million in federal dollars and bringing specific expertise in environmental restoration. We'll be extending the Riverwalk and reshaping the river shore from the lighthouse to the cable bridge side of Clover Island. Once complete, the project will create a healthier habitat, expand the Clover Island Riverwalk, and improve public access to the Columbia River. At Columbia Gardens Wine and Artisan Village, Bartholomew and Monarcha Wineries celebrated another great year of production, and they've racked up significant honors, including Outstanding, Platinum, and Best of the Best awards during industry competitions. With the support of Benton County, City of Kennewick, Hanford Area Economic Investment Fund, Benton PUD, Ben Franklin Transit, Columbia Center Rotary, and Kennewick Arts Commission, the Port of Kennewick began constructing Phase 2 at the Wine Village. We built a food truck plaza with 6 stalls that will feature both permanent and rotating food trucks. We completed roads, parking, landscaping, and signage, and installed new public art, including an iconic transit shelter. Construction of a 4th winery building at Columbia Gardens is complete. We are excited to welcome 2 new tasting rooms to the Wine Village with the addition of Cave B Estates Winery and Gordon Estate Winery. These wineries are already well known and continue making a name for themselves, with Gordon being the oldest estate-grown brand in Washington and Cave B winning double platinum from Wine Press Northwest. At the Columbia Gardens Wine and Artisan Village, parcels are now available for private sector development for wineries, restaurants, breweries, galleries, and more, all of which will continue the transformation of that historic riverfront. At Vista Field, the Port of Kennewick is creating a regional town center featuring urban lifestyle amenities. We are following a community-minded master plan with the goal of fostering new jobs, housing options, civic amenities, entertainment, and recreational opportunities. The urban design features a network of finely grained streets with wide pedestrian-friendly sidewalks. The first phase of infrastructure work is nearly complete to prepare almost 20 acres for private development. In Phase 1, the port built roads, utilities, and civic spaces, and added trees to line the street. With connectivity in mind, we created access from Deschutes to Grand Ridge Boulevard that's highlighted by a linear park and a signature water feature. We also built a fountain, pond, and commercial plaza, and did it all without increasing taxes. At Vista Field, the port is acting as the master developer and will sell or lease parcels to the private sector and then use those funds toward construction of future phases until the entire 103-acre site is complete. At build-out, Vista Field will add $500 million to our community's tax base, meet new demand for housing and commercial needs, and create a vibrant regional town center. We made significant progress during the last year, but we think the decade ahead will be even better as we continue our unwavering commitment to enhance the Tri-Cities quality of life, transform neighborhoods, and address evolving community needs. We invite you to enjoy these public places. The Port of Kennewick, we're working for you.
Great piece. Speaking today for the Port of Kennewick is Commissioner Don Barnes. Don has represented Tri-Cityans in Port District 1, which includes parts of Kennewick and Richland, since 2012. Don has more than 30 years of experience, mostly as an independent commercial real estate broker with Caldwell Banker Tomlinson in Kennewick, working in all aspects of commercial real estate development, management, and sales. Don is a Kiwanian, a licensed pilot, and a cyclist who enjoys every opportunity for adventure with his family and friends. Please help me welcome Port of Kennewick Commissioner Don Barnes.
Well, thank you very much. It's truly an honor to be here to speak today on behalf of the Port of Kennewick. But I am just one member of our team at the Port of Kennewick. I'd like to acknowledge my fellow commissioners. They're both here, Commissioner Skip Novakovic, Commissioner Thomas Moak, and then our staff. We have an excellent staff led by our CEO, Tim Arnson. I don't see Tim today. But staff, would you please rise again? And would you please join me in a round of applause for their excellent work for the Port of Kennewick? At the Port of Kennewick, we've developed strong partnerships over the years. Some recent examples of those are the strong partnership we have with the Confederated Tribes of the Umatilla Indian Reservation. And also another little partnership that wasn't mentioned in the video that I would like to remind people about is the partnership we had with the Latino Heritage Mural Committee to develop the mural that's at the Columbia Gardens Wine and Artisan Village. We're developing these partnerships to help transform neighborhoods and bring renewed economic vibrancy to challenged areas throughout our district. We've made waterfront investments, we've championed art and urban renewal as tools for economic development, and we've worked to engage our stakeholders and our citizenry in transparent planning processes. Together, the Port and our partners are completing significant, meaningful projects for our region. Some of the things the video didn't cover: we've expedited land sales to try to generate revenues. And the Commission is committed to going about our work at the Port of Kennewick without raising property taxes. Instead, we're using existing revenues, bank loan, grants, and land sales to fund the Vista Field redevelopment. And this year, for the first time, we used the public auction process to sell land. 4 parcels were sold in the Southridge area of Kennewick. Our staff has also coordinated several traditional land sales in East Kennewick, and by selling these parcels to the private sector, the land is placed on the tax rolls, it facilitates new private sector development, and it helps generate revenue for the ongoing work at Vista Field. In West Richland, we also sold land to the Benton County Fire District Number 4 for their new fire station. With 20,000 more people expected in the next 20 years at West Richland, this was crucial to them to help reduce their response times and to reduce insurance rates and to ensure continued public safety. Also, at the request of West Richland Mayor Brent Gary, the Port fast-tracked a land sale to that city. Many of you recall that the Port owned the former Tri-City Raceway property, and this site was sold to the city of West Richland, helping them meet their bond deadline for a new police station. This also helped create opportunities in West Richland for additional industrial and commercial development. Also this past year, the Port has partnered with Benton County to provide additional water rights for the fairgrounds. The county has been a tremendous partner for the Port, investing in our projects at Clover Island, the Wine Village, and at Vista Field. And I believe that Benton County is to be commended for their innovative use of rural county capital funds. This year also, the Port will invest $800,000 in a project led by the City of Richland. The city is working to transform the Island View area or Richland Y area by making road, utility, pedestrian, and recreational access improvements to Columbia Park Trail and that waterfront neighborhood. And we're also working with Richland on a next decade plan for projects that we can partner on long term. At Clover Island, we'll be updating our waterfront master plan this year. That process will look at the upland parcels on Clover Island and at how we connect the island with Columbia Drive and Washington Street and integrate with the city and historic downtown Kennewick partnerships plans to reinvigorate downtown Kennewick. And we're very pleased that we've negotiated a new long-term lease agreement to welcome new owners to Cedars Pier 1 restaurant on Clover Island. That iconic establishment helps maintain vibrancy in the Kennewick waterfront area. And Vista Field will remain a top priority. Vista Field is the largest and most ambitious project ever undertaken by the Port of Kennewick. The site represents, as you learned in the quiz, 103 acres in the heart of the region's commercial core. And while Vista Field redevelopment process has taken time, we've been both methodical and strategic, taking time to do what's right instead of just right now. Phase 1 infrastructure should be finished this summer, and then we can begin to sell land to our private sector partners. The private sector is probably going to be the most important partner for the Port of Kennewick in the Vista Field redevelopment. But first we must finalize the available parcels, set pricing, prepare a property owners association, and begin marketing the available lots. Again, the video pointed out the port plans to sell the Vista Field parcels and use those land sale proceeds to help fund future infrastructure in phases until the entire site plan is complete. That will place parcels onto the tax rolls. And again, the video said it's estimated that will be up to $500 million upon completion. This assessed value on the tax rolls will generate revenues for police, for hospitals, for education, libraries, and other services our citizens enjoy. And at Columbia Gardens Wine and Artisan Village in East Kennewick, we've just completed Phase 2 infrastructure, added more artwork, and constructed a 4th winery building. This year, the port is adding a shade structure to the food truck plaza, and by summer, a public restroom will be installed. And we're very excited to welcome Cave B Estate and Gordon Estate Wineries as tenants to the Wine Village. They received their keys earlier this month. We'll have a ribbon cutting for them in March. There's a flyer floating in the room with that information. And the port now has 6 development-ready parcels available for our private sector partners at that waterfront complex. So in conclusion, I'd like to say that at the Port of Kennewick, our goal is to continue to serve as a catalyst for economic development throughout our 485 square mile district. And we will continue to create partnerships and work plans that meet our evolving community needs. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Don, and thanks to everyone at the Port of Kennewick. Really exciting to watch the Vista Field vision be carried out. Our last video of the day comes from the Port of Pasco, so please again draw your attention to the screen.
Hi, I'm Randy Hayden, the Executive Director for the Port of Pasco. Thanks for joining me today as I talk about the many great things the Port is doing in our community. In 1959, the Port paid the Army $820,000 for these 8 large warehouses, which is commonly known as the Big Pasco Industrial Center. These facilities were built by the U.S. government in the early years of World War II, and they were used to store supplies awaiting shipment overseas to the eastern front town of Vladivostok, Russia. These buildings are truly one-of-a-kind structures. Each warehouse is comprised of 4 bays, with each bay equaling 1 acre in size. All 8 large structures combined provide 1.3 million square feet of leasable space, with most of it under roof. These facilities are very flexible and provide industrial space for manufacturing and distribution, and can be divided to meet our tenants' needs in a way not many places can for companies such as Ligari Products. Ligari moved in 2 years ago, needing a large open space to showcase their patent-pending epoxy resin products, as well as space to conduct hands-on training of their products to contractors and the public. This is why they are so unique. The expansive size of the warehouse allowed Ligari to create their own NBA regulation-sized basketball half-court. What the Port finds so exciting about these warehouses is the innovative use of the space by our local businesses and the specific needs that they use the warehouses for. Evans Enterprises, a wind and electromechanical company, is using their space to sell, service, and support all types and sizes of electric motors and generators, controls, and related equipment like those seen in our area's large wind turbines. Because of these unique structures, components of this size can fit under roof. Amazing, right? Although these warehouses are perfect for industrial manufacturing, they are also very conducive to processing operations, such as aromatics. This is by far the best smelling business in the port. They utilize the warehouse space to process both conventional and organic peppermint and spearmint leaves for distribution to herbal tea companies worldwide, utilizing 1.5 bays to manufacture, store, and package their products. Massive is how our Big Pasco maintenance crew described these facilities. And as expected, they require a very large capital program to maintain the 75-plus-year-old buildings. The Port is investing over $1 million of capital funding to demolish the original wood docks and canopies on the warehouses and update the exterior look for our tenants. The project so far includes installing over 15,000 square feet of exterior warehouse siding. We are extremely proud to be able to support our tenants by purchasing siding from Merrimack Metals, one of the tenants at Big Pasco, and contracting with Ironsides Custom Grinding, another tenant, to recycle the wood docks. Another major project being undertaken in 2020 at Big Pasco are the road improvements, which includes installing a stormwater system. Thanks to a $7 million plus Economic Development Administration grant, we're able to complete 20 years worth of capital projects in 1 year, freeing up future port dollars for other worthwhile projects to promote growth and economic development in Franklin County. Lots of activity has occurred at the port's Foster Wells Business Park. This 50-acre light industrial development borders the Pasco Processing Center and is shovel-ready for businesses looking to purchase parcels 2 to 10 acres. We've sold nearly all of the vacant land at the park, and today, businesses such as Second Harvest, the Rock Placing Company, Volm, and Teton Cold call the park home. We have just completed several land sales and at this point only have 2 lots left in this development. Pecos Properties, doing business as Global Track LLC, just purchased 2 acres at Foster Wells, where they will build and locate their headquarters for their landscaping company. Pioneer Packaging purchased nearly 3 acres and is a family-owned company that creates innovative packaging solutions for the wine industry. A great example of our purpose for the Foster Wells to support our area's ag manufacturing base. Kenyon Zero purchased 21 acres in the Foster Wells Business Park to build a 250,000 square foot cold storage facility. The new plant complements their 410,000 square foot existing facility built in 2015 in the adjacent Pasco Processing Center. Airport, airport, airport. Improvements to the Tri-Cities Airport are still necessary as more and more people use the airport. According to the official aviation guide published in 2019, the Tri-Cities Airport is North America's 8th busiest small airport, thanks to all your flying. In 2017, when we completed the new expanded airport, we had 750,000 flying out of the airport. In 2019, that has grown to almost 900,000 people. We're realizing an annual growth of 12% with no sign of it slowing down. Right, Buck? Although we were very sad to lose our direct LAX flight in January, we're thrilled to welcome new direct flights to Chicago beginning June 4th. The most important factor in getting and keeping new flights like these is you. The more you choose Fly Tri-Cities, the better chance we have of recruiting and keeping new routes. Thanks for flying local. The newly opened 99-room Courtyard by Marriott Hotel is a great showcase for the Airport Business Center, which has become a highly desirable spot for businesses. This past year, the Port installed interior roads and infrastructure to help fast-track business development at the Business Center. The investment is already paying off. This spring, you'll see The Landing, a new commercial development rising from the dirt at the intersection of Argent and Varney Lane. The Landing will bring in much-needed retail like restaurants, coffee shops, not only for our passengers at the Tri-Cities Airport, but for CBC students and nearby neighborhoods. Finally, let me introduce you to the Port's newest property acquisition, the Ryman Industrial Center, named after former Port Commissioner Ron Ryman. In 2014, the Port sold the last remaining land parcel at the Pasco Processing Center and has been looking to purchase more industrial property somewhere in Franklin County. But finding rail-served land near a highway zoned industrial is hard to do. This 300-acre parcel checked all the boxes, and we purchased it for $6.5 million in October. It is located adjacent to US 395 and just 1 mile north of the Pasco Processing Center. The Port's vision for this property will be to replicate the success of the Pasco Processing Center. As with the PPC, the Port will collaborate with our partners, Franklin County, the City of Pasco, and Franklin PUD in all aspects of land development. We expect the Ryman Industrial Center will attract similar clients as the PPC, but we also expect it to attract new industry targets because of the assets already on site, such as the BNSF rail network, natural gas, and electrical transmission lines. And when fully developed, we expect the Ryman Industrial Center will add more than $1.5 million in additional property taxes that will benefit our schools and local governments and create more than 1,000 new additional jobs in our region. As always, it has been a pleasure sharing information about the projects the Port of Pasco is working on, as well as our efforts to promote continued economic growth and stability in our region. Please enjoy your lunch.
Another great video. Our final speaker for today is from the Port of Pasco, and it's Commissioner Vicki Gordon. Vicki has been with the District 1 Port Commissioner since 2017. She owns Gordon Brothers Cellars and Kennewick Vineyards with her husband Jeff. She's also a co-founder of Pay Plus Benefits and the bank director at Yakima Federal Savings and Loan. In her spare time, Vicki is an avid golfer, a game she's been playing for over 55 years. She's only 40, but... And anyone who knows Vicki knows that she bleeds crimson and gray. Go Cougs. Please help me welcome Port of Pasco Commissioner Vicki Gordon.
I first want to congratulate the Port of Benton and the Port of Kennewick for all of the exciting news that they've brought to you today. And I'm going to add some more to it. I am Vicki Gordon. Gene Reichman and Jim Klindworth are also commissioners with me, and we have 2 tables of our staff who are outstanding, awesome people. Do you want to stand too? No, they didn't. I didn't think so. The video really hit the highlights of our current activities, so I just want to take a couple more minutes to bring you up to speed on the latest developments of our port. As stated in the video, the port is seeking to rezone the Osprey Point waterfront to allow for both commercial and residential development. To that end, the port has entered into a letter of intent with a local developer that would like to bring residential components such as townhouses and 4 to 5 story condominiums, along with commercial storefronts and a multi-tenant market. Future plans include an indoor-outdoor entertainment venue, a hotel, and restaurants. These features, along with the existing public waterfront trails and open spaces, will transform Osprey Point into a fun and engaging waterfront destination that all of our community can enjoy. It's an exciting concept and we look forward to moving ahead with the plan. The wharf project property located at the foot of the cable bridge is one of 2 prime locations being considered in Pasco for the proposed community public market. Our vision for this development is to create a unique artisan manufacturing village that will complement activities in downtown Pasco and at the Columbia Gardens development across the Columbia River at the Port of Kennewick. We have engineers drawing up plans for the first phase of this development. One of the truly unique assets on this site is the wood wharf that was built as part of the Continental Grain Elevator constructed in the 1940s. It sits right over the river and would be a great spot for an outdoor cafe, enjoying a cup of coffee or a glass of wine while taking in the view of the cable bridge and the hills beyond. The port is currently performing an engineering analysis to determine how to rehabilitate the wharf for this and other public uses. We also have a couple of building projects underway. Up in Connell, we are partnering with the city to build a new North Franklin Visitor Center to promote tourism in this beautiful part of our district. And closer to home, we're finishing up a new business hangar for the Department of Energy's atmospheric research program operated by Battelle. Before I leave today, I'd like to share a little bit about our valuable dam system. As a port official and a Snake River property owner, I get to see firsthand the many benefits that dams provide, including the movement of cargo up and down our beautiful rivers and crucial irrigation water needed to grow our grapes and the other produce of the mid-Columbia. The Snake River dams are an integral part of the Northwest economy and provide important benefits for our whole region. Right here in the Tri-Cities, many of the products vital to our local, state, and national economy arrive by barge. A large portion of the diesel and gasoline used in the Tri-Cities area is barged to Pasco and trucked out to local service stations, and depending on the time of year, can equate to up to 50% of the fuel that we put in our vehicles. For our farms, fertilizer is barged in to help us grow the world's greatest potatoes, cherries, apples, grapes, and many other crops prized in the mid-Columbia. And since October 2018, wood chips are barged from lumber mills in Benton and White Salmon up the Columbia River to the Port of Pasco's barge slip and used for cardboard manufacturing at the Wallula and Richland cardboard plants. All told, the dams support 100,000 jobs for port and port-related river commerce in the Northwest. And as a bonus, barging is also the most environmentally friendly way to move cargo, keeping 700,000 trucks per year off our highways while using 4 times less fuel than the trucks. The dams are also crucial for our affordable, reliable, and carbon-free power. If you are a fan of wind and solar, then you are also a fan of our dams, because they balance the power supply that makes wind and solar work. So I hope you will join with the port and many others to stand for our dams to keep the power on, keep our businesses running, and keep our people employed. Thank you.
Thanks very much, Vicki, and again, thank you to the entire Port of Pasco team for all the hard work that you do. How about a round of applause for all 3 of the ports today? As a transplant to the Tri-Cities, I'm continually amazed at how much is going on here. It's incredible.